you've been over in the LMS for some time now. What do you think is the biggest lesson you'd say you've learned since moving to the LMS from Singapore?
I think the biggest difference should be, I guess how should I say, the environment here. Like, because in LMS compared to Singapore, everyone have to have a gaming house and everyone have to stay together, train together.
Right.
Like, everyone sleep together, eat together, everything is together. So that's very different from what Singapore has. And over here, I feel that the competition is a lot tougher.
Right.
Yeah, it's like there's always new players coming up, very strong players.
Okay. So, what is one thing you can say to players back over in Singapore to help them improve at the game?
I feel that new players can improve a lot, like when they watch pro players stream. But don't just watch for fun. Like, you watch to try and understand each and every little thing that the pro player does.
Okay.
Because I know a lot of people who watch streams, or be it pro player stream or competition stream, they just watch it for fun, for the sake of watching. Like, okay, whoever kill who is like nice to watch. But if you want to improve, you should watch all those little things, like as let's say laning phase, or what timing this player roams, and all that, etc.
Okay. So have you been following the League of Legends scene back home in Singapore, or the GPL in general?
Actually, since I came to LMS, I've been focusing more on LMS, and I haven't watched too much of the Southeast Asia scene. Yeah, so I'm not too sure about how things are over there.
Okay, but do you have any, maybe do you know any players in the region that you think can possibly play on the world stage?
Because I haven't watched for like
I
more than 3
understand.
years, so I don't really know who are the players now,
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, but I heard of this guy, because I was scrolling Facebook, sometimes, and I saw this guy. I think he was from Choa Secondary School or something. The guy who played mid lane is quite small size guy. I forgot who he was. Yeah, but it's someone from Choa Secondary School, I guess.
Okay. So with the new big patch, Runes Reforged, right? Any fun builds you think that are like really viable or like really strong right now that people can abuse?
Builds. Let me think. I think most people are using the most mid laners are using right now is the blue page. I think the
sorcery.
Yeah, sorcery should be sorcery. So you get either the first two. I don't remember the name, but what's the name? The first two. Yeah, one is Airy, the other one is Combat. Oh yeah, Combat. So you get either one of these, and then the most bottom, there's something like the most bottom left. The one every 20 seconds deal extra damage. Scorch, yeah. So as long as you get these two, you'll be like lane bully, be it bottom lane or mid lane. Yeah, because I've seen, because in solo queue sometimes I play the bottom lane, then I meet really disgusting bottom lane, like Misfortune and then Varus.
Yes.
And then they'll just poke you every 20 seconds and then you'll die.
Yeah, it's a very
from the new runes damage.
It's a lot of damage.
Pretty sick. Yeah.
Alright, so will we see you playing that new champion in the LMS? She's pretty fun.
We might see it quite often, because I think it's quite actually it's very hard to hit his skill shot, but in pro play it might be viable, because like you can combo with your teammates. Let's say your team do a crowd control first, and then it's easier for you to hit your skills.
Yeah, to hit the sleep thing.
Yeah.
Alright, my next set of questions are for Nelson.
Hey.
Hi, so can you describe what your current role is as an assistant coach in HKA?
Yeah. For this or next year onwards, my role will be I'll be in charge of esports, and secondary role will be like the assistant coach.
Okay.
But for the assistant coach part, right now, what I do is like, I help the team to scout players and scout the enemy team, like the next opponents they're going to face.
Mhm.
And then I help the head coach Chawy as well, like with some statistics, like maybe which champions our players are better at, and most of the time it's like shot calling and macro decisions which the team makes. Like I try to make sure that the players do not waste any second in game, because every second counts. Maybe you reach the Baron like 5-10 seconds earlier, and that's the difference between like getting a free Baron or getting aced.
Right.
Yeah.
So how do you think this new HKA roster stacks up to the previous HKA roster?
I think I would say that we had the option to keep all our previous players, but we made the changes because we believe that we can make an even better team, and our goal is to win LMS this season or the next split.
Right. So how do you feel about finally finding a fellow Singaporean overseas, and like how do you feel that benefits the dynamic?
Actually, he wasn't the first one.
Oh, he's not the first one.
There was like Jensen, and some people might not know, but Shinsekai came to LMS as well, but he didn't get to start.
Oh.
Because he wasn't that good enough. But I think Chawy would be a great addition to the team.
Okay. Any players from Singapore do you think that have the potential to play overseas like Chawy?
I think there's this younger kid. I think his ID is Raven.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Raven, yeah.
I think he can play, but the last time I asked him, he didn't want to come over, so I'm not sure what's his plan.
Okay, so what was the biggest challenge in preparing the team for this big patch?
It's like understanding which champions are now strong or not strong, because like when the patch first came in, everyone is like, oh, tanks are like shit now because there's no more attack speed.
Yeah.
And the really good tank masteries they're like scaling. But I think after a while, everyone found out that actually tanks, if you have an advantage, you want to scale like 30 minutes, it's like super OP.
Yeah. Aftershocks also pretty good.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So for the both of you, I want to hear from both of you. Where do you see League of Legends in the future, say about 3 years from now?
So me first or Chawy?
You first, since you're here.
I think it will just get bigger, because you can see that like NA and China both have franchising.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully LMS and the other regions get franchising as well.
Hmm.
For me, I do feel that 3 years from now, League of Legends will be way bigger than how it is right now, because like we all can see how China and NA is improving so much, all the franchising and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And they have, the stuff that they can give to the players, to the team, is a lot more than what others can imagine. So yeah, I think from 3 years from now, League of Legends will definitely be a lot bigger.
Okay, so yeah.
Last time I feel that maybe League of Legends is like will die sooner or later because of the the World Championship prize pool.
Yeah.
Because compared to Dota 2, it's not improving. But then since League of Legends already catch up from that, and I do feel that League of Legends will go quite a long way.
Mm-hmm. So speaking of the franchise system, right? How do you think League of Legends can bring this over to like EU or the LMS? Do you think the LMS is in the right place?
I think this is very hard, because I did read some stuff online. Like I did some research on this actually, and why LMS and EU is very hard to do this kind of franchising is that, let's say in NA China, you have to do advertisement for whatever company. It's very easy, because let's say the company is in NA, so you want the whole NA to see their product, right?
Yes.
And in China, they'll just want to China, because their audience, there's so much audience. But in EU is so big that there's a lot of different countries. Let's say a Germany country wants to do advertisement or stuff.
Yep.
But they only want to do for the Germany viewer.
Yes.
Yeah, so I read about this lah. I think I forgot which team wrote about it.
Is it the Unicorns of Love? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the guy made a video. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw the video, then I was like, okay, it's quite true. Which is why you saw a lot of EU LCS teams are trying to come to NA also.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then LMS, I've spoken with some powerful people, and they say that it's very hard for LMS to become very huge, like NA or China, because of the viewership. So the only way LMS can become like NA or China is either to join China or to merge with Vietnam.
Right.
Yeah.
Which doesn't sound, either way is also not that great, right? Okay, so how about Nelson?
I think the franchise system is great, like for those who have it, because they get a lot more benefits, like they cover your medical costs, your insurance, stuff like that. But those are usually not covered in like non-franchise regions. But I'm pretty sure like ULCS has it as well. But I think the biggest thing which it affects is of course the salary for the pro players.
Right.
Like, so you can see from the ESPN reports, the Impact is earning like $1 million a year.
Yep.
And I think $1 million a year you can run like 2 LMS teams for a year.
Yeah.
So that's a really, I think it's possible for ULCS to franchise because they can make it have like something like, you know, like soccer where they have like the home and away system.
Yes.
Include many other countries as well. But for LMS, I think the country is too small and too little. There are not as many people watching the games, and I feel like the most realistic way for LMS to franchise to like is just to combine with Vietnam.
Because Vietnam is like the most dominant part of the GPL, right?
Vietnam is the most dominant and has the most viewers in the world behind China and Korea.
Okay, so last question for the both of you. So are there any like differences in culture over in the region regarding esports as opposed to in Singapore?
I think all people in Taiwan they know about esports. Like even when we take taxi or take Uber and they're like, oh, so you play like video games for a living, then they ask us like which game we play. Most of the time, like when the players or as a staff we go out and then we take a taxi back to where we stay. It's like all the taxi drivers in the area know that, you know, like HKA we stay at this area. So they're like, oh, so are you guys like esports players? So I think it's more accepting compared to like Singapore, where if I'm not wrong, there isn't any like full-time LOL team for the past few years.
Yeah. Most of them are like on a got turban that they come together basis. Alright.
Another point I feel is the player base. Because I remember playing the Singapore Malaysia server. Normally, like when you're in Challenger, one game you might queue around 1 to 2 hours, which shows that there's very lack of players. So when there's lack of players, there will be lesser talents found, you know. It's like in Taiwan, Korea, or China, there's always new players coming out that are really good. And some, let's say Singapore, Malaysia, there's so little players that you can't really, it's really hard to find a good one out there. Yeah.
So it's more of the talent that's available in the area lah.
Yeah.
Alright, so thank you so much for coming today to have this interview. Any last words any last thoughts that you would like to say before we close?
Nothing for me.
Okay, Nelson?
Yeah, there's nothing much, but I hope that the fans in Singapore will support both of us and, you know, watch the LMS, and if you can, come to Taiwan to watch.
Yeah, definitely. We'll be wishing HK all the best in the upcoming split. We are very excited to see your new roster in action.
Sure. Sure, thank you.
Thank you so much.